Brandon Aiyuk. He was asked if the cap going up will help the 49ers' chances of keeping Aiyuk. And Lynch made it clear, look, the cap went up for everyone. This doesn't give the 49ers an advantage over other teams. It just means essentially players are going to get paid more money. But he said, he made it real clear, Brandon Aiyuk's one of his favorite players on the team. He embodies all the qualities the 49ers look for in their franchise players. He's tough. He's great. He said he's got a great combination of toughness and grace and his ability to contort his body in ways that, frankly, the other highly paid wide receiver, who I won't name, can't. So he said, what did he say? I think I wrote it down. We want to keep him around for a long time. And they have a good track record of extending their players. He made that clear. It doesn't seem like John Lynch was sweating Brandon Aiyuk. It seems like after hearing this, I think Brandon Aiyuk's going to be on the team. I know his girlfriend said he might not be back, which is fine, but that's not the same thing as Aiyuk saying he might not be back. And I know he said, what, if it makes sense, yeah. If the Niners offer him what he's worth, he'll come back. There's nothing like, it doesn't seem to be anything acrimonious between them, like they hate each other. It's just business. And from what John Lynch said, he made it seem like he values Brandon Aiyuk the way other teams in the league with cap space will value Brandon Aiyuk. It doesn't make sense. The only reason to trade Brandon Aiyuk is if you feel like you can't justify spending all that money on a player that you don't target enough. But that's the only reason, because he's ascending, he's improving, he's young, he's gifted, he does all the difficult stuff, he does all the not pretty stuff, he blocks, that kind of stuff. He is the perfect embodiment of what the 49ers are trying to build in terms of their culture. You point to Aiyuk. Hey, this is a guy who had a lot of talent, but was sort of inconsistent early in his career, and he just kept working and improving, and look at him now. He got rewarded for his effort. So, yeah, this is reassuring. Trading Aiyuk would be a mistake. I could see the Niners talking themselves into it the way they talked themselves into trading DeForest Buckner. But Aiyuk is just, it would be the same mistake. 25-year-old ascending player who's a franchise cornerstone. Why would you trade that guy? You really sure you're going to get a better player than that? So I think this is good news. This should be good news to Niner fans. Doesn't look like this is going to go sideways, and that the Niners secretly don't like Brandon Aiyuk, or that Brandon Aiyuk secretly doesn't like the 49ers. It's just business, and he's very good and very expensive, and they'll have to find a way to fit him in their cap structure, which they can do, and they'll have to find a way to get him the ball more frequently. That's really the solution to this issue. Oh, you don't give Aiyuk enough targets to justify the price tag? We'll give him more targets. Crisis solved. I just solved it. Call it quality control. And he never even went to Cabo, and he's going to get the extension. I think this is a non-story now. If you watch John Lynch's body language, he was like, yeah, I mean, we get this done all the time. Who do they not get it done with? DeForest Buckner, right? When did they trade DeForest Buckner? 49ers trade DeForest Buckner. What day was that? March 16th, 2020. So if the Niners were to trade, that's the one time they didn't do an extension with a player. They started the negotiation. They realized they were pretty far apart. And rather than create, a really messy situation with Buckner, they told him, hey, wherever you want to go, we'll trade you. Find a team that's willing to pay what you want. I would think that if the Niners and Aiyuk were that far apart, they would know it probably now. And they'd have about 2-3 weeks to find a trade partner. He'd be out of here before the draft. They wouldn't drag this on and then trade him right before the season. So it sounds like that's not going to happen. He's not going to get the Buckner treatment. Again, if he were going to get the Buckner treatment, he'd get it in 2 weeks. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So will he hold out? Maybe. What do they call it? Holding in? You don't practice, but you're at the facility. I would imagine something like that will happen, and the Niners will make him wait, which was probably a mistake on their part. There's going to be a bunch of not free agents, but a bunch of big time wide receivers eligible for extensions this offseason, and the Niners could like beat teams to the punch. Maybe save a little bit of money. Do it first. You know you're going to give them an extension, but they'll wait until August. They'll wait until they put the pads on in training camp before Brandon Aiyuk is officially signed. But you know what? Kind of like Nick Bosa last year, he's going to be in perfect shape. You don't have to worry about him not being ready. So I perceive this as good news.